Welcome. You're watching The Weekend Show. I'm your host, Phillip Brazile, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Janee Cosby and Andral Hills. Yes, I'm so glad you guys are here. Welcome to The Weekend Show, ladies.
Well, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to be here.
Janee, you're a blogger, a writer, a motivational speaker. What are you most passionate about?
Writing. That's just, I'm a very emotional person. Writing is how I just get all my stuff out. And so I just really like to write and just get the message out to the people.
What age did you start writing?
I've always been a writer since I was younger. I've always took an interest. I've always had a journal. I still have a journal till this day. So ever since I was young.
And of course, they can find you on I Can Repeat It.
They can find me at icanrepeatit.com, spilling all the list on your favorite celebs.
Andral, you're a teacher, a mother, a producer. You do it all. Such a great speaking voice.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I am most passionate about empowering other people. It's so important that we come back with data and sharing our lives and our life story and our experiences. And so you'll find me anywhere talking with anyone about anything. You know, we can be in the produce section at the supermarket over carrots, just talking about life. You'll find me.
Freedom of speech is a right granted by the U.S. Constitution, and I am grateful that PeopleTV provides a platform which allows us to exercise this right. But without help from people like yourselves, this platform may soon disappear. So please, donate today at peopletv.org and help to keep the opportunity to say what needs to be said alive. Thank you.
Welcome back. You're tuned into The Weekend Show, and I'm Janee Cosby. Now let's get into this lush. Have y'all heard that Wesley Snipes is coming back to TV? His first appearance since 2003. You know, he went to jail for
taxes.
Taxes. And he will be starting a show titled The Player, and it's based in Las Vegas. He's going from being a military, being in the military to now head of a security team or something like that. Okay. I mean,
I can see that.
You can see that? What do you think? I mean, are you excited to see him back on TV, or do you care?
Well, I'm a Wesley fan, so I'm glad he's out.
Okay.
We'll just have to see what happens for him,
I want him to have that blade haircut, though. That haircut he had in Blade. I mean, imagine a security guy with that blade haircut. I will do what I'm told.
I don't want another blade. I mean, just leave Blade alone. Blade is good.
It is what it is.
But the haircut is fierce.
But could you have imagined him in Empire? Because allegedly he was supposed to play Lucius.
Everybody's supposed to play.
What? Exactly. I was supposed to be the secretary, Becky. Okay, but I wasn't articulating my words well enough.
Okay.
So.
Okay, y'all are so funny. Also, Bobby Brown and Pat Houston, they are now co-guardians, over Bobby Christina, and it's so sad that we see this, being long and drawn out, and Bobby Brown's family is actually filming a reality show. How do you all feel about that?
My question: is there a certain reason why they're keeping her alive? Is it financial gain?
Well, now she's breathing by her own. Well, according to reports, she's breathing on her own. Okay. However, she has so much brain damage. I'm just wondering, no one really was paying attention to her when she was alive, spending all them coins. We didn't left for $20 million. So I'm just curious.
I kind of feel like since she just checked out, she's like, you know what? I fought the good fight.
She did.
This is on y'all.
Yeah,
I think he doesn't want to let go, because it's like losing Whitney and then losing Bobby Christina is losing the entire legacy. That entire, and Whitney was such a significant part of his life. Yeah, even to this day, people still refer to the Bobby Whitney duo. So to lose Bobby Christina is literally closing that chapter and throwing the book away. And I think he doesn't want to let go.
They have a hard time. It's just a really sad. It's just a sad situation. Just the fact that she was, found like that days before the anniversary death of Whitney, and then Nick on
Dr. Phil.
Oh my God,
that was such a travesty.
I just want to know why. I think at some point you say cut the cameras, let's cut all of this and let's get real help.
Well, my question is, just as a father, because I lost my mother when I was young, and I would have expected Bobby to rally around Bobby Christina for a long period of time. I mean, in other words, I understand she's an adult, but as a father, with knowing that she just lost her mother, I would have expected Bobby to move across the street from her,
well, you never
and be in her mix and be on her to give her that love.
Maybe so, but you know, I do remember that. I mean, she didn't even want Sissy to even mess with her like that. Maybe she. I mean, you only can give so much as
a father. I would have been her shadow.
They take it. So I don't know. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes of the conversation. It's just a sad story because I do not think. I mean, I'm not God, but I just don't see her being the Bobby Christina ever again. I just don't see it. And so, you know, it's just a sad story.
It's unfortunate because she never really had a chance to really...
She never had a chance to live, you know, and
blossom and to grow.
To grow, and it's just sad.
I mean, Whitney is a big shadow to live in.
Well, that's true.
I mean, and then I do. My heart goes out to her because just having megastar parents, there are already so many expectations.
Yeah.
You know, before you even out the womb, they expect so
She
many
was good on the
things.
Tyler Perry show. I thought she did really good.
Yeah, she did on the Tyler Perry show. I know she was mad because she didn't get to play Whitney in the biopic, which I think Angela did a good job, by the way, even though the story was more about Bobby Brown.
Yeah, it's kind of about the Bobby Brown story.
Yeah, right. And, you know, it's in reality TV, you know, Nene and Kim, they have their reality show road trip. They're going from Atlanta to LA. I'm just a little scared. I don't know how I feel about it because, you know, they were friends in the beginning of our
frenemies.
They're frenemies and they, you know, all of that and all this crazy
Well, I
stuff.
think when the money's right, I'll be friends with anybody.
Yeah. Hello, the coins talk. Give me them coins.
Cut a check.
So, do you think the show will be interesting now?
I actually think so.
I think Kim will bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it some life.
I'm overseeing people travel to LA. You know, I mean,
let's go to Africa.
Well, I don't really want to go to Africa, but is there somewhere else that we could? Let's go to Omaha. Like, is there somewhere else that we could go? Because I mean, I don't know. I guess it would be interesting because you know, Nene is sort of a diva, and so Kim, you know, she's a diva in her own right, and you know, so it'll be interesting to see.
Let's get into the buzz. There's so much going on nowadays. I was having a conversation with my sister the other day. We're talking about this presidential race. And she told me she's not voting for Hillary Clinton because she feels that Hillary has a hidden agenda.
Right.
Oh.
What do you guys feel about Hillary?
Well, you know, some people think that. Like Jada was wondering, like Jada Smith, she was just wondering, who is she really for? Is she really for us, the black women of the community, you know? So I'm not surprised, you know, I'm just still trying to wait out, you know, just wait it out and see. I think at this point it's probably just picking the best of the, you know, the less evil, I guess.
One of the things that Hillary has going for her is the Clinton name.
That's true.
Bill has laid the foundation for her, and a lot of Obama supporters came from Clinton.
True.
So that's going to be her edge and her advantage. The only thing she has to really worry about is winning the Hispanic vote, because with all the most recent passing of all the immigration laws, that's going to be her challenge. I think she has the women as far as the vote of the women, but the question I think for Hillary is, will she be the face of the future? There are a lot of young contenders coming up, and I think that was Obama's advantage, being young and technologically savvy. You know, Facebook brought him in office.
That's true.
Hillary knows nothing about Facebook.
She'll get out there and dance. And
I don't know. I'd be scared she'd break something. I wouldn't want her to dance.
I think we need to be on the lookout for Rubio.
Well, I think with Hillary, she's going to have someone to run with her who's young and passionate to get that younger vote.
Rubio. I think she might want to team up with Rubio because immigration is still is big in this nation.
Yeah, big deal.
And he definitely will have the Hispanic vote.
Do you think Hillary should talk about the infidelity in her marriage? Do you think that's still an issue?
No, how many years ago was that?
Exactly.
Like, some time.
And there's so many more things going on in America.
Care, really.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe if she was doing an interview just for the sake of the last question, a filler or something, but we don't care about that right now. We have all these other issues, homelessness, you know, police brutality, domestic violence. We have all these other things going on. We don't care about that.
And I think if she brings that up, then you may as well bring down a long list of things that happened in the Clinton administration. So and that might not be wise.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Let's talk about the legalization of marijuana.
True.
So, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is this the new America?
You know, I think it would be a good thing because the war on drugs is a little to me, off balance. It's so, we're going to give you 20 years. There's so many people in jail been caught with weed one time, serving all these long years. But I think the hustle on the street, let them out, okay?
Absolutely.
You know, but the hustle on the street may not be too good, you know, too happy about that, because they're going to cut his profit just boom, and he going to start selling something else.
And it kind of concerns me, because if we legalize weed, so the hustle on the street, are they going to hustle harder drugs now?
I'm sure.
Is that going to be the going thing?
But see, I think maybe they can be offered jobs now in pharmacies, because there are so many medicinal benefits to marijuana. There are actual proven benefits, especially for people who suffer from epilepsy and seizures, other mental illnesses, bipolar disease. And not to mention, the United States can finally regulate and tax it, which will improve our economy. We need jobs right now. So why not employ some of our top hustlers, have them be some of the...
You can be the managers, the supervisors.
Have business license in the office, trying to open up a shop.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that. Now, at least they can do it the legal way.
No one ever crashed a car driving.
Hustlers and the police. There's been so much police brutality going on in America. It's been really sad. And it's been devastating to watch the news every day. There's been so many stories.
So many stories.
There's just too many stories to even talk about.
How many black men have been killed by the police? Like 355?
Too many to
so
count.
far, and it's just.
And those are just the reported ones.
Just the reported ones. The one that caught legs. The story that caught legs. Yeah.
But one of the things about this police brutality is that social media has been driving the force behind it.
Can you imagine if we didn't have social media?
You know, social media is, you know, it can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And thank God it's exposing some true devils out there.
Well, even with the exposure, you know, what a lot of people have to understand is the power of the vote. Excuse me. The police have been given the right to use brute force, and that right has been granted to them by state legislators and legislation. So as the people, we have to change those that are making these laws and strip them of that power and hold them to the same standards that we, the regular people, are being held to. Especially when you look back at the history of the police department. The police department was created solely for the purpose of protecting the wealthy from the poor in the early 1900s. And a lot of people don't know that. That is why the police was created. And of course, you know, laws are written and created to keep those parameters in place. They are there not really to serve and protect the public, as we have been led to believe, but to serve and protect the wealthy. And so we have to rewrite the laws.
Well, I think that's, you know, that's why it's important for people to also vote on the state level. You know, so many people, I mean, of course, vote during the presidential election, but your state, you know what I'm saying? That's why we have like the Michael Browns, you know what I'm saying, and we have like the Freddie Grays and the, you know, so many, the Oscar Grants and stuff like that. I mean, you have, I mean, your state legislation, pretty much. I mean, that's almost more important, if not just as important as the presidential.
I think it's important to be active, to be involved, to know.
To know.
You know, if you're a parent, go to your school's principal and be involved in your school. It all starts from that level. But most importantly, keep watching the weekend show. We're glad you're watching.
Thank you.
Us, and we'll be here every weekend. Welcome back to the weekend show. I'm here with the sensational Vince Ashton, just straight off the Susan G. Komen cancer race. So how was that experience? You just straight off the track?
Straight off the track on Peachtree Road, to be exact. This is my second year doing it. So first off, it was an honor for them to consider me to come back and be able to host and perform at this amazing event. It was over 10,000. Over 10,000 participants, and I think last year we were at 8,000. So for just to see it grow and evolve yearly is just an amazing thing. And also just it being about fighting breast cancer and it being about such a wonderful cause, and just seeing all the survivors that are there, and those are those that were there to honor those that are no longer with us as well. And you know, all the kids are there, families, everybody's dancing, you know, we did the wobble, all that great stuff. You know, we got it's a big community thing. And just for me to be there and to host and to perform some of my original music, it was such an extraordinary thing. So I loved it. Awesome experience.
How did you start singing? What got you in the industry?
Lord, it's so crazy that you brought that up. Because I started singing when I was 3, and I ran into my children's ministry choir director today at the Susan G. Komen event, and she hasn't seen me since I was like 4. And so it was like, you know, but basically as everybody else, singing in church, singing in daycare, all the little production plays, and just going on from there. I was also a part of the Atlanta Boy Choir, the Young Singers of Collinwood, so I'm classically trained.
Oh, okay.
And I play the oboe and English horn, so I'm classically trained as an instrumentalist as well. So just progressing all the way, from 3 years old to middle school, all the way up until now. I started actually really pursuing a career probably in 2008. Okay. 2008. So that's when I started writing and being in the studio and really getting a grasp on to everything. And then once I really, I major in music business right now.
Okay.
Music business. Good.
In Atlanta Metro. Right. So now I'm just really cultivating and honing into that and whatnot. So it's pretty much shaped me to where I am today.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 25 years on Earth.
Well, I read that you have been accepted to several universities and chose not to go. Explain that a little bit. Why did you choose to pursue other opportunities?
I think, just to be honest, my freshman year in college, I went to Florida A&M University.
Okay, HBCU.
Yeah, right, HBCU. Okay. I went there, and I was able to get accepted into like UNC and other schools, but all my friends were going to Florida, so I was like, let me go in now to Florida real quick so I could be with those, and then I got a full ride there as well, so money talks.
Excellent.
So that was pretty much a good 90% of the weight of why I made that decision of to attend Florida A&M University. And when I was down there, their music department is great, of course, the Family Marching 100 and all those great things. So just to be a part of that fabulous, that awesome music department, I was like, okay, I gotta go. And then at that moment, it was like we were just in a prime season in terms of the marching band, in terms of the wind ensemble. So it was just a great time for me to be in that position. I learned so much being in that department and being at that school. So yeah.
Well, that's wonderful, because obviously you were meant to be exactly where you ended up.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
I believe that.
And one thing about Vince, he's always humble. He's always willing. Whenever you call him, he's always there.
Yes.
Just a very home guy. He's always approachable.
Thank you so much.
I want to ask you, do you ever get disencouraged?
You know what? I sure do. I did this morning. Actually, this morning. It's being an independent artist. Of course, it's a hustle.
Right.
It's a definite hustle. And a lot of times with artists, they do have these great teams and management and hair and makeup and all these people behind them. And literally, when I tell you it's me and God, and I have like 2 friends that definitely hone in when they can and whatnot. But a lot of these things, like you see my calendar, like I'm booked this entire month of May.
Oh, wow.
And that's only by the grace of God and me just networking, nobody else. And so a lot of times, I do have those moments when you see other artists or you go to these huge events, because like last week I hosted the Battle of the Bands in Clay County. The week before that I hosted the Georgia High School State Championship step shows. So I'm doing these huge events, thousands on top of thousands, and it's like, all right, Lord, where everybody at? I need somebody. Send me somebody, Lord. Mama, can you get off work? Somebody come on through. So those moments, I'm like, okay, send me somebody. But hey, it works out. He's always with me, so I'm
He's
good.
always
on time.
And you have so many great songs out there, and that I love. One of my favorites, Celebrate.
Okay.
And
Here we go.
Yeah. Which is your favorite?
My favorite is a song I'm actually doing today. Coming Out Strong. It's basically a song for champions only. So if you are a winner, if you are successful, this is your anthem. All right.
Well, then that's my anthem.
You turn up. It's a turn up song. Now see, I'm a native from Atlanta. I am a native. I'm from East Point Zone 3, Washington Road. Okay. I am a native from Atlanta. So the turn up is real. The turn up is real. Yeah.
Put on for the city.
Yes, ma'am.
So where can the people follow you on social media?
You can follow me on Instagram at Vince Ashton. That's VinceAshton. And from there, all the rest of my stuff is pretty much self-explanatory. Facebook, all of that great stuff.
And what events you got coming up next week?
I actually have a career day that I'm doing at North Clayton Middle School Monday. And the next thing that I'm getting ready for, I'm doing something at West End Mall this upcoming Saturday, and then getting ready for the Artist Music Showcase Awards, which is a huge thing that Atlanta is premiering this summer as well. So we have auditions coming up at the Southwest Arts Center May 31st. So if you're an independent artist, you can sing and dance. I'm a judge. All right, so come on through. It's going to be a great time. Yeah.
Wow. Fabulous. Oh, my goodness. I can't wait until that event.
Yeah, I think you are
Congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
doing so many great things. We really wish you the best.
Thank you.
We're
Same to you all.
Oh, thank you. We're so glad you stopped by.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want you to and be encouraged and just and understand that things always work on God's calendar, not on man's calendar, and just remain faithful. And you'll look up one day and you'll realize the things that you said, you'll see.
Right. Right.
Believe that.
Yes,
believe that.
It's Vince Ashton, The Weekend Show.
Hi, welcome back to The Weekend Show, where we will always keep you updated and informed. I am Andral, here today with Rickey Morris, the United States Navy veteran. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So I want to know more about your experience with the U.S. Navy. How long were you in the Navy?
I served in the Navy. I'm still serving in the Navy, but I've been in right now for 7 years.
Oh, wow. So what inspired you to enter the Navy?
Long story, but to summarize it in a sense, my parents did not put enough away for their children to go to college, so that was my option, was to go to the Navy. My dad retired from the Navy, so I followed in his footsteps.
Oh, wow. So exactly what was your, what is your job in the Navy?
I am a Master of Arms second class. What that is, breaks it down. The Navy is the only branch that does things a little different from everybody else. So it's, in simple terms, I'm a military police officer.
Oh, you said the Navy does things different than other branches of the military.
Yes.
Is that a good thing?
That is a good thing.
Oh, wow. So one thing I know about the Navy is that you had an opportunity to see some wonderful places around the world.
Yes.
Can you share some of those places with us?
My most memorable places with the United States Navy would by far #1 be Dubai. I just came back from Dubai about 2 years ago. I enjoyed it. Worked hard, played a little harder, skydived in Dubai, jumped out of perfectly good planes, and enjoyed every bit of it. My second place would be Bahrain. Bahrain was by far really, really good to me. I came home with numbers of suits, shirts, ties, things that I could only imagine how much they would cost here in the States. Cost me a little bit of no money. I love Dubai, which is where I got this necklace from, actually.
Oh, wow.
So it's a symbol that reminds me of this.
What does it say?
This side, it has my name in English, and then on the back in Arabic.
Oh, awesome. Wow. So what are some of the scary experiences? I know there had to be some times when you weren't always so courageous.
For me, I have always had to be courageous. The Navy can be scary if you don't know what you're signing up for.
Oh, really?
I signed up for military police. That was what I wanted to do. It's still what I enjoy doing, and I know when I take my post that the threat stops here.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't get past me. If it gets past me, I failed.
I feel safer.
Yes.
I really do. The threat stops with you. I know I am in absolutely good hands, as well as the other 3 million or 300 million Americans. Sorry about that. So tell me, Rickey, veterans, there has been a lot of coverage of the United States veterans, and as far as the supports that are available for them once they complete their duty.
Yes.
Have they established new support systems for the veterans, or do you still think it's a work in progress?
I believe it's a work in progress. A lot of times, a lot of people don't know what veterans are facing because a lot of veterans come home and we are silent. We suffer in silence a lot because as soon as we get home, we immediately go back into that role of taking care of whatever problems may exist once we hit the ground. So we never have an opportunity to just decompress and get ourselves back together, and we suffer in silence. We don't speak out about it. We don't try to go out and get help. So a lot of times the lack is because we haven't made our voice known. And then the second part to that is that there hasn't been enough care from the other people to say, hey, you're not the way that you were when you left. Do you want to just sit down and talk? So it's a two-sided situation.
Now, are there, in other words, referrals for therapies, or the therapists offered for the veterans? I know that the suicide rate has received attention lately with a lot of military soldiers and sailors suffering from PTSD.
Yes.
Do you know of someone who, without me being too personal, could very well benefit from therapy or
Absolutely. The Navy has a lot of programs that Fleet and Family Services that offer us counseling. The problem with that is sometimes we feel that there will be some type of lashing out if we do. So we tend to keep quiet. But there are opportunities afforded to us. I believe if there were more religious entities that stepped up and offered those type of counselings inside of their churches or religious opportunities, that more people would sit down and talk with their pastors or talk with someone who they feel they could get great advice for, but won't necessarily receive backlash for talking to you about something that has gone on. And then the second part to that is the PTSD. A lot of people do not understand that you don't have to go through watching somebody be blown up to have PTSD. Just being overseas can get you PTSD. You see a lot of things. May not necessarily be your friend being gunned down or you dragging your friend. It could be you overseas and your grandmother passes, and that takes your mindset completely out the battlefield because you're trying to deal with back home while you're on the battlefield dealing with battlefield things. So you're battling inside yourself, dealing with what's going on at home and what's going on out here. And when you come back, you never had a chance to say goodbye. So now you're sitting in silence because you just want to say goodbye to somebody who was really close to you, but at the same time you had to perform a job. So now every time you think about your grandmother who passed, you think about you being at war and you become bitter and you end up developing that PTSD or that thing that makes you hate the very thing that you signed up to do in the first place.
And grief.
Yes.
I mean, grief. I mean, does the military offer special, and do they allow you, how can I put this, leave for those type of events? Are you allowed to attend life-changing events, or you just have to skip?
You are allowed to attend life-changing events. Each branch has their own base of rules. I can't say that I agree with them all, but you signed on the dotted line, so you have to kind of comply with them. Sometimes you can go, sometimes you cannot. Sometimes the mission is more important than you actually being able to go home and bury somebody, because you're not just depending on, it's not just you. You have a band of brothers that and sisters that you have to take care of.
That's understandable.
If you go home, you lose your spot and somebody has to pick up that slack.
That's understandable.
Sometimes you just can't do it.
So nowadays, you know, there is such a push for young people to attend college, although we know that college is not for everyone. Would you encourage a young person, or if there was a young person that was interested in joining the military, would you? And if so, what words of encouragement would you offer that young person?
I'm glad you asked that. I am a military police officer, but right now I'm serving here in the city of Atlanta as a Navy recruiter. And so that is my job, is to recruit. And I don't just sell the Navy because, you know, that's my job. I sell it because it changed my life.
Wow.
I hated the Navy. My dad was in. I felt like the Navy took my dad away from me for years at a time. So I absolutely hated it. Never wanted to join it. And even when I did join, I hated it for the first 2 years because I just couldn't get past that. It took my daddy away from me all the time. However, after seeing the places that I have seen and experiencing what I've experienced with the United States Navy, it is by far the best decision I've made in life, and I would encourage any young person who may not be a college person or a young person who wants to go to college but their family cannot afford to pay for it. The Navy offers $180,000 scholarships. Not only do we offer a $180,000 scholarship, but we also will pay for your tuition while you're active duty, and then when you get out you still have post 9/11 to choose from. So there's multiple opportunities for you, you know, to take in the United States Navy.
That is wonderful information to know, because also I know that this country is being burdened down with student loan debt. Because there are so many young people that think that college is the only option. No one discusses that there is an alternative. And also, last but not least, and I know that you have to be on your way, you're recruiting, I've learned that the military also looks for a different type of sailor, because weapons have become more advanced. So now there is a push for a certain intellectual level. So I say that to say that, is it fair to say that young people should still strive to do well in school, even if their plans are to enter the military?
Absolutely.
Okay, because the military does have an exam. And if you fail the exam, you don't get in.
You don't get in.
Okay, just wanted to get that clear.
You need to score at least a 50 on your exam.
All right. Well, I definitely appreciate this information. I'm quite sure there's a lot of young people and older people as well that would benefit from it. And as a pleasure, thank you for being with us this weekend, on the weekend.
Thank you.
This is wonderful. Thank you.